Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Luthais, and today we are going to look at what weapons is most effective at the start of gameplay, and specifically melee weapons. We are not going to look at large, heavy weapons that takes a long time to swing. We are going to look at weapons that you can craft right at the start or find very, very quickly. So, of course, the katana can't be in there. The large axes, the sledgehammers, chainsaws, all the heavy weapons is not going to be included. But without me showing you guys every single test, I'm just going to test this off screen for you. And then I'm going to tell you which one of these clubs is the best. Of course, we know that the one with the barbed wire and the nails is going to be better than the normal club, okay? Then we're going to look at the axes, the normal axe that you can craft, the small little axe that has still got speed, the hatchet, and then the metal sword that you can craft. Then we're going to look at the three kind of spears. Of course, the normal spear, the stone spear, and the metal spear. Which one makes a major difference in killing puppets? And then we're going to look at the normal baseball bat, the blaze bat, which has speed, the barbed wire bat, the spiked bat, the medieval sword, and Fuster's machete, okay, which you can find fairly quickly. So without going through every single test, let me test them one by one, and then I'm going to show you the findings. Okay, so we tested all the clubs. Of course, many things have changed, through the updates, and I'm very excited to test the projectile damage out. But when it comes to the clubs, this is still true. When it comes to thin puppets, then there's not a big difference between the club with the barbed wire on and the club with the nails on. But the tougher the puppets get, the more of a difference it makes. So once I tested it on the thin puppets, I tested it on a muscle puppet, and then an armored military puppet. So the barbed wire club takes about 12 shots to kill this puppet, and the spiked one with the nails takes 8. Okay, so that's at least a 33% improvement when it comes to the club. With the club without nails is not really a weapon that you should use. It takes like 4 shots to even kill a thin puppet, where the spiked one is very, very, very strong. But it takes 2 shots whether you're using this clubbed one or whether you're using the other one. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's roughly about the same amount of shots. And so you don't really see the difference with thin puppets, but you will with big puppets. So as before, the one with the spikes is still the champ, but it can kill an armored puppet with 8 shots. Okay, so that's the bar, and I kept keeping my stamina above 90%, so that I know every shot is doing the max amount of damage. Okay, so I'm the same character. The character that I'm testing it with has medium melee, okay, and 3 strength. So just normal. I don't want to do the combos too much because the combos does affect the data that I'm getting. That's why I don't want to do too many combos. So with the settings at the moment, 12 shots, 8 shots with the spikes. Okay, so when it comes to thin puppets, I'm not going to test on the thin puppets too much. Okay, because even an axe that you craft is still 3 shots. Okay, so all of these weapons will be quite effective. Again, I'm sure the spear without anything on it is gonna be the difference. Okay, so of course we don't really want to use the starting gear. Okay, because even when we're looking at a thin puppet with a spear, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's just like this one. The spear without any upgrades, just like the club. So that's your preference. If you wanna use a spear without anything on it, then this is basically compared to this. But then when we look at the best spear compared to the best club, that's going to make that's gonna, that's gonna make a difference. So when it comes to a skinny puppet, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So again, the best spear is going to be the same as the nailed club or the barbed wire club. Okay, it's all about preference, but the damage there is not really going to change. But of course, the speed of the spear is the one thing that bothers me. Okay, so we're just going to look at, we already know the axe is a very standard weapon. So we're going to look at these three and see who comes out on top. Again, you have to find this, but you can craft this and you can craft this. But I still want to see how much damage this axe does because it's one of my favorites. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the metal sword is the clear winner here because this axe and the hatchet takes 8 shots to kill the military puppet, where the metal sword only takes 6 shots to kill the military puppet. So the metal sword is by far the best thing that you can craft out of both of these tables. The metal sword is by far the best thing that you can craft, okay? And I'll just show you here. We're going to go through all the puppets. And again, you're thinking about the speed as well, okay? The speed makes a major difference. So let's just regain our stamina quickly. And let's take the puppets on one by one that you can clearly see the difference. Okay, so this is a thin puppet. 1, 2, okay? That's as low as you can get, except if you're using like a katana. Okay, so that's very, very low. And then we can just jump straight to the armored puppet. I'm going to manage my stamina. Okay, and then we're going to see 6 shots to kill a military puppet. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 shots, guys. So definitely the winner. And I mean, that's when you manage your stamina. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. The speed plays a major, major role. So the metal sword is the clear winner of anything that you can craft. When it comes to this, it doesn't really matter. Whether you take the club with the nails, okay, which is the best out of the clubs, or whether you take the hatchet, or whether you take this axe, it doesn't really matter. But the axe does matter because the axe is roughly compared to the barbed wire one. And then, of course, when you go for a spear, this is basically useless. This is a little bit better. But the one with the metal spear is the best. And you can craft a metal spear extremely fast, guys. Extremely fast. You need 1 scrap metal that you can get from any car. 1 stick that you can put in your primary slot. 1 rope that you can get from a bush or a puppet. And then just a stone knife. And that's fine. So with the baseball bats, this is clearly going to be the weakest bat because it's not upgraded. But again, we're going to focus on shots. And at the moment, the metal sword is the winner with the power and the damage that it does to puppets. And I mean, we don't need to compare this to players because you can stun lock a player, but you're not going to use this a lot with players. So this is very much related to going into a bunker or going into a point of interest or going into a place with a lot of puppets. And instead of using a bow, you can use one of these weapons. So let's go through all of these and get the numbers quickly. Okay, so out of the bats, the nailed bat is the clear winner, okay? This bat and the blaze bat does the same damage. You can compare a normal bat to like the one of these two, okay, or one of these. So the normal bat and the blaze bat, the damage output isn't very high, but the blaze bat, of course, hits a lot faster. But again, the nailed bat is by far the winner. So the big thing about a nailed bat is the reach. Okay, it hasn't got a ton of speed, but you can keep puppets at a distance. So it's almost like a cool spear because it's got a wide arc. So again, the metal sword was 6 shots. This bat is 6 shots as well, but again, the range makes it very, very powerful. The range keeps you safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the nailed bat is basically just as good as the metal sword. It doesn't have the speed, but it does have the reach, which will help you quite a lot. Okay, very difficult to miss. It's very difficult to miss with the bat. Very difficult to miss with the bat. So very, very, very strong there. And now we're just going to test the final two that are my favorites. So we're first going to check if anything can one-shot the skinny puppet except for a katana. So this is a thin puppet. That's one. Okay, that's normal. It can't one-shot a puppet. Now we're going to look at the armored puppet. 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, metal sword. These two swords are roughly the same, but again, the sword's attack speed is also one of its strengths. Okay, again, the speed is a little bit faster in that one. So definitely the medieval sword wins over this one, but between this one and that one, guys, there's not a major difference. And then, of course, the machete. Again, we have to test the one-shot potential. Okay, it hasn't got one-shot potential. It's basically the same. And then we're going to go to an armored puppet. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So clearly, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing to break your head about. This Fuster's machete does a lot of damage, but its speed can't really compare to the medieval sword or the metal sword. And the winners basically is the Fuster's machete, the medieval sword, the nailed bat, and the metal sword. Okay, so those are the best fast weapons that you can get, except for the katana and the sledgehammer and the axe. But you're going to need a heck of a lot of strength, because strength helps a heck of a lot. Influences carry weight, melee damage. Strength influences melee damage. Melee weapons influences melee weapon attack speed. So you're going to be able. The reason that I like speed on a weapon instead of weight is because these fast weapons, the metal sword, the medieval sword, Fuster's machete, the bat, okay, you're going to be able to attack faster and faster with them. You're going to do available combo attacks. You're going to do a heck of a lot more combos, and the melee weapon damage is going to increase. Okay, and that's what I love. Instead of just increasing the damage with strength, we're going to increase we're going to start, if we get to advanced melee, then we're going to increase the speed and the strength and the combos. And you want to kill something fast, and you want to be able to take on multiple enemies, which you need a fast weapon for. So I hope that helped you guys. There's no big difference between the metal sword, the baseball bat with spikes, the medieval sword, and Fuster's machete. With the spears is basically exactly the same as the clubs. And then these two aren't anything special. They are just like the club with nails. So the only thing that we really have to consider is the axe that we start with. So let's just quickly see the axe that we start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10. I compare it to this one. The normal axe, I compare it to this weapon over here. But again, if you're going to put anything on a club, you want to put this. Okay, so that was 10. If you just take this one now, which is easy, it's a club with nails. It's very, very easy. It's just as easy to make as an axe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's why I say this is still better than the axe, guys. Although the axe has got more utility. So whether you upgrade the club or you use the axe, it doesn't matter. This one has got more utility. This one is a little bit stronger than the axe, but again, this one does the same damage as the hatchet and the small little axe. Okay, and even if we take a large axe. So I'm just going to spawn in a two-handed axe with the same skill level. Okay, two-handed axe, which is much, much, much slower. At the skill level, at the exact skill level, we're going to go with the skinny puppet. 1. Again, you lose the speed, but it's still 2. It's still the same as the metal sword, the medieval sword. It's still the same as those fast weapons. There might be a little bit of difference here. Of course, we can kill this guy with 6 shots, okay, with our fast weapons. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We gain 1 extra shot, guys, but we lose a lot of speed and utility. So you guys can do with that what you want. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and just click the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to see and learn everything, there is to see and learn about Scum, then click the sub button. And if you want to help me do this full time one day, the Patreon link is down in the description below. Discord link is there as well, or you can click the join button. Have a wonderful day, guys, and keep surviving. Cheers. Okay, guys, just some 3 bonus weapons here because I do feel someone is going to ask me this in the comments. Okay, so first of all, just to make one thing clear, the cleaver is the same as Fuster's machete. The skin that the item gets because of a content creator doesn't make it stronger. I want to just make that clear. So whether you get the cleaver or Fuster's machete, it's the same damage, although I do feel Fuster's machete could have a little bit more reach. Okay, if I think about it, the cleaver is not as long as Fuster's machete, so that can make a difference. When it comes to the sledgehammer, the face roll sledgehammer or normal sledgehammer, there's no difference. And whether you get the gold katana or the normal katana, it makes no difference. So just understand that whether you get the content creator one or you get the normal one, there's no difference in damage. But I am going to cover the 3 weapons that I think people will ask me about in the comments. First one is the Bushman. Okay, so we're just going to do the armored puppets here. Bushman is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, Bushman is still a good weapon to have with you. Again, you know, it's got good utility because when you skin an animal or when you chop up an animal, you get more meat from a Bushman and you get the most amount of meat from a cleaver or Fuster's machete. Because Fuster's machete acts like a cleaver, the cleaver gives you the most amount of meat from any animal. Okay, so it's still got very, very nice utility and it's still got a lot of speed. Okay, it's just not as good as the sword. Then again, I feel a lot of people will ask me about the sledgehammer because the sledgehammer has knockout potential. So it can disable a puppet or it can disable a player. But again, getting a shot in on a player that's moving around, which is not AI, which is going to be very, very difficult, but it has got knockout power when it comes to a puppet. So if you hit the puppet with it, you can get away. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's just as strong as the axe, and it does have knockout power, but clearly it didn't have a lot of knockout power with the with a puppet, okay? And even if we go to a thin puppet, okay, I don't think it's going to have one shot potential. One, okay, exactly the same as an axe. And then before we forget, the katana is by far the best weapon you can get because it has got one shot potential. And even when it comes to an armored puppet, 1, 2, and it's got a lot of reach. 3 shots for an armored puppet. Okay, so clearly, if you want to play on a hardcore server with a ton of puppets and you like a melee weapon, okay, then a katana is going to be your best option. Okay, the biggest thing that counted against us there is the stamina. The lower your stamina gets, the less damage the weapon does. But clearly, the katana is the best. Okay, so that's the title of the video. The best melee weapon is Scum, which clearly the katana wins by a mile. Have a great day, guys. Cheers.